بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Inshallah, this is another class inshallah we have on Arabic Sarf, and in today's class we'll start off with learning these new verbs. As I mentioned before also, I want the students to learn new verbs every class, so that, verbs are a big part of the sentence, so that you learn a big portion of verbs, and you're able to translate in the Quran, inshallah. And also I had mentioned previously that the way that you learn it is that you also have to learn the mudari', the state of the middle letter in the mudari' as well, because it is different for all the verbs. There's no one fast rule which applies to everything. So that's why you have to memorize it. And it might be, it's not so obvious. And we'll go into the babs also today. Assalamu alaikum. So if you look at the first one, the first verb is ja'ala. Ja'ala. Jim, ayn, and lam. Ja'ala. And so the mudari is yaj'alu. Ja'ala, yaj'alu. Actually, I already asked you this, it was in the quiz also. Yeah, in this quiz, I put the ayat, and if you wanted to, you could also go to the ayat and check it up and see what it means as well. But ja'ala, yaj'alu, very popular, very very common verb. It means to make, right? One verb can have many meanings. Another meaning of ja'ala is to start, but that's not so common. But that's also another meaning of it. It means to start also. But ja'ala means to make, right? And Allah mentions in the Quran so many places, جعل الله الكعبة البيت الحرام. Allah made, جعل الله, Allah made Kaaba, right? Allah made Kaaba, the Bayt al-Haram, the sacred place. The next verb is mana'a, mim, noon, and ayn. Mana'a yamna'u. Mana'a yamna'u. It means to stop or prevent. Stop or prevent. Next verb is khada'a. Khada'a yakhda'u. It means to deceive or cheat. Khada'a yakhda'u. In the Quran, it comes يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يخدعون. Right? So if you see the word يخدعون, then you know that يخدعوا يخدعاني يخدعون. It's the third one, which is they, many males deceive or will deceive. Okay. Next is fahima yafhamu. Fahima yafhamu. It means to understand. Right? People say in Urdu or other languages, we have fahm. Fahm in Farsi also. Famidi. Right? So fahima yafhamu, it means to understand. The next word is dhakara. Yadhkuru. Dhakara yadhkuru. It means to remember. Dhakara yadhkuru. It means to remember. Next word is nadhara. Nadhara yanzuru. Notice the dhamma on the va. The dhamma is there on the va. Previously we had fathas there. Every one of them previously in the mudari was a fatha.
The mazi has all same like zakara, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So even though the madi it has fatha, 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 still the mudari will have a fatha in the middle, and actually we'll go into the different variations inshallah in the next slide. So dhakara has a fatha in the ayn kalima. And then nazara, to look at. Yanzuru, yanzuru, it has a dhamma there in the middle, kind of like nasara yansuru. Yes.
So Zakara is Yadkaru or Yadkuru?
Yadhkuru. Oh wait, there's a mistake here. Zakara yadhkuru, it's supposed to be yadhkuru. Sorry. Yeah. Supposed to be yadhkuru. Yeah. So there's supposed to be a dhamma there. Please change that. That's a mistake there. Zakara yadhkuru. The kaf is supposed to have a dhamma there. Okay. That's the mistake there. Next is after nadhara yanzuru, faraqa yafruqu. Faraqa yafruqu means to separate. Faraqa yafruqu, separate. Next is rakiba yarkabu, to ride or board. You know, board meaning board a ship or board a plane or board a vehicle, or to ride a vehicle. The same verb is used for that. Next verb is la'iba yal'abu. La'iba yal'abu means to play. This is in the Quran also. And then I brought another variation so that everybody can understand. Azuma ya'zumu. So you can see the dha has a dhamma there. Azuma ya'zumu bab karuma yakrum. This is a different bab. Azuma ya'zumu, it means to be great or become great, big or large. To be great or big or large, or to become great or big or large. Okay. So this, from this verb, azim comes. You know, the word azim, al-azim, that word comes from this this root letters, these root letters. Okay. So let's go over the 6 babs actually. All right, we just mentioned a few of them, but we'll compare them. You can write notes on this, on what the dictionary will mention. The word daraba yadribu. Right, so these are 6 different variations, and these verbs are used as standards. So when we want to express that that the past tense has fatha, 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 and the mudari, the imperfect tense, has a kasra in the middle letter, if we want to express that, we say it is bab daraba yadribu. That's how the naming is. Okay, there's no specific reason why they picked these verbs, but these are the verbs which they have made standard, and they will refer to these verbs as you know, as if they're the standard. So when we want to express that, we're gonna say this is bab daraba. We're gonna say this is bab daraba yadribu. So for example, the word we've done, I think I've given an example here. Actually, bab daraba is not here. Yeah. So ja'ala would have a fatha there. So I'll give you example. Example would be, for example, wasala yasilu. Wasala yasilu we have done previously in another in the previous class. I'll actually go over that. Yeah, right here. So we have example here, right here, the last one. Haba, this is last week's verbs. Habasa yahbisu, you see that kasra there? And also wasala yasilu. Wasala means to join, connect, or also means to arrive. Has 2 meanings there. So you can see a kasra in the mudari. Let me underline that so you can see. You can see a kasra here on the habasa yahbisu, kasra there, and also wasala yasilu, kasra there. Okay, and also notice that the madi has fatha, 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 and the madi has fatha, fatha, fatha. So this is very similar, not very similar, it's exactly same harakat as bab daraba yadribu. That's how we're going to call it. It's the same harakat as bab daraba yadribu. So it is from that, you know, it's from that area. It's from that, inshallah. from that classification. Now let's go on further, actually. Next is after daraba yadribu, you can see fatha, 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 then a kasra. Then we go to another one, which is bab fataha. It's called fataha yaftahu. So it's fatha, 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 and after that mudari, the imperfect tense has a fatha in the ain kalima. Previously we had fatha, 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 then a kasra, but over here fatha, 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 then a fatha on the imperfect tense as well. There's a lot of examples for this. The example of ja'ala is there, fa'ala is also there. Fa'ala yaf'alu, fa'ala means to do something, and that is also with a fatha. So that's, fatha, fatha, fatha here. You can see on ja'ala, yaj'alu, the ayn kalima has a fatha. That tells me it is. We will call ja'ala. Ja'ala is from bab fataha. That's how we're going to call it. Again, so I'm repeating this so that everybody learns this. And then, inshallah, I'll ask it on the quiz, and then so it'll be familiar to you in the quiz, inshallah, that okay, this is bab so and so, like that. So this ja'ala is bab fataha yaftahu. That's how I will say. And also, one thing to also add is that in the dictionary, it will have a transliteration right next to the past tense in the dictionary. After that, he will put a letter, a vowel. Either he'll put an I or an A. So that I, A, it will tell you what is the imperfect tense. I'll show an example, inshallah, soon right now. Let's go over the 6 babs, and then I'll show an example on that. Now, another example I see on fataha is mana'a. Mana'a yamna'u. You see that noon there with the fatha. Khada'a. Khada'a yakhda'u. Also, the dal has a fatha there, you can see. Anything else? So I made a mistake on dhakara. It should be a dhamma there. The rest of them are different babs, yeah. So khada'a, mana'a, and ja'ala also. Okay, good. Okay, good. So now let's go on to the next bab is bab sami'a. Sami'a yasma'u. Sami'a yasma'u. Notice there is a fatha, then a kasra. So the madi is different. Fatha, then a kasra. Then after that, in the mudari imperfect tense, it becomes a fatha. It is a fatha there. Okay. So it starts off with fatha, kasra, fatha, then a fatha in the mudari imperfect tense. Let's see an example of that. Yeah, let's see an example of that.
This depends only on the verb, right?
Yeah, this is only in the verb.
So, and this, we just need to know which are the verbs.
Yeah, you have to just memorize that. Like, yeah, you just have to memorize it. Now that was sami'a, right? So again, sami'a has a fatha, then a kasra, then a fatha in the past tense. Yasma'u. Yasma'u has a fatha, and then after that in the middle letter, right? So now what's the example of that here? Can somebody tell me? Can they find out? Can they figure out where's the example of samia in this list? And remember that Dhakara, I made a mistake, should be Dhamma. Yes. Fahima, yes, good. Fahima, look at Fahima right there. To understand, Fahima. Fahima yafhamu. And there's a fatha there. Looks very similar to Samia. What else? Yes. Rakiba yarkabu right here. Rakiba means to board, to ride. So Rakiba, you can see in the Madi past tense, you can see a kasra there. And then in perfect tense has a fatha there. Anything else? Anywhere else? Yes, yes, good, mashallah. Yeah, la'iba yal'abu also has that. You can see that it's a fatha, kasra fatha. Then in imperfect tense, it becomes a fatha. The same thing as samia. And again, what are you going to call this? Fahima, the verb fahima, rakiba, and la'iba, they are from bab samia. They are from bab samia yasma'u. So that's how you're going to use it. And also in the dictionary, it will be a. They'll put an A there to show that the middle letter is a fatha. Yasma'u. Yasma'u. A. They'll put it. They'll mention an A. They'll put a transliteration, then they'll mention an A right after it. Right. So yeah, that's how they will show it. Inshallah, I'll actually bring that up here. Next is we have in the babs, if you can see, nasara yansuru. So middle is a dhamma there. Middle is a dhamma. So let's go into the above examples and see which one has a dhamma in the middle. But remember, the past tense, it has fatha, fatha, fatha. You can't get confused because there's one of them where it will be different. Yes, so
where's the meaning of bab?
bab means literally means door or chapter, section, but over here it has a different meaning. It has the meaning of kind of like the standard. It has the meaning of standard here. So if you look over here, we were talking about the nasara yansuru, right? Nasara, which is nun, sad, and ra. Yansuru.
To the mother then.
Which one?
To the mother then.
Sorry, one second. To the mother, to remember, you're saying. All right. Nasara yansuru. So you can see fatha, 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 then a dhamma in the middle. So which one of these has that? Yes, nadhara. So nadhara, that's one of them. Nadhara yanzuru, you can see a dhamma there. And it's fatha here in the middle, fatha. And also I told you I made a mistake here. On dhakara yadhkuru. Yadhkuru. It's dhamma. It's supposed to be a dhamma there. Right? Dhakara yadhkuru also is bab nasara. Anything else? Yes. Faraqa yafruqu. That also has a dhamma there in the middle. Anywhere else? No, right? Yeah. There's nowhere else. Those are the examples. And don't get confused with the last one. Look at the last one. Last one has a dhamma in the past tense. This is not part of nasara. Okay. And then also has a dhamma in the imperfect tense. Although this also has a dhamma in the imperfect tense, it shouldn't be confused. They're different. They're different babs. They're different standards. Okay. So azuma is not going to be nasara. Only dhakara yadhkuru, nasara dhakara yadhkuru, nadhara yanzuru, and also faraqa yafruqu is going to be this standard of bab nasara yansuru. Okay. Now, if you go on to the next, let's go on to the next one. It is karuma yakrumu. So now azuma, right? That was the example. The middle letter is a dhamma in the past tense, and in the imperfect tense, it's also a dhamma. So that tells you that it is azuma ya'zumu. All right, the example we just had over there. I'll just write it here. Azuma is from this bab, okay? Azuma. And then in the mudari also, ya'zumu. Okay, so the mudari will also have a dhamma on it. These are just the basics that you have to really memorize. Azuma ya'zumu, so that you get to know how to inshallah learn further on. Azuma ya'zumu, This is bab karuma. You're going to call it bab karuma yakrumu. And then the last is hasiba yahsibu. You could see a kasra here, kind of like samia, but however, samia is different. If you look here, samia and this is very different because of the imperfect tense. Imperfect tense has a fatha there, and imperfect tense of hasiba has a kasra. Right. This is hasiba yahsibu. Example of that, I didn't really put it over there, but there are a few examples. It's not so much common, but it is there. Hasiba yahsibu. This is, for example, waratha yarithu, to inherit, right? But it's not, it's not in the thing, but I'll just give you an example. Waratha, or sorry, waritha. I think naima yanaimu is also another one scholars mention. So waritha, right, like this. And then the mudari will have a kasra also. Okay, so everybody understands that?
Are they organized in a fashion, or you just pick them up? You can memorize it by one.
Yeah, you just have to memorize it. These 6 babs, right? No, it's whatever order. There's no specific order. Daraba fataha, right? So there's no specific order. Yeah, this is a question. What does hasiba yahsibu mean? Yeah, so hasiba has the meaning to, it has a few meanings. Hasiba means to, especially the yahsibu, it means to regard, consider, deem, to think, also to believe. That's the meaning of hasiba. Hasiba means to think or consider. You can put it as that. Question is, how would you know if it falls in bab, the first bab or the second bab or the third or the sixth? How do you know it will fall in that bab? So I'll show you a website here, or actually maybe I'll show you screenshot. And remember that one bab can be can belong to more than one, one verb can belong to more than one bab. In that case, it'll have a different meaning also. It'll have a different meaning as well. So let me show you what that means by sharing my screen here. So if you look, hasiba is a good example. If you see on the screen, this is what you will see in a dictionary. The scene is a little bit very doesn't seem so clear in my screen here, but if you have the dictionary, the physical dictionary, you can see, open up to ha, sin, and ba, and you'll find this in the dictionary. So in the dictionary, they will put a verb, and they'll put verbs come first. Verbs come first, then after that, nouns come. Right, because some of the scholars, some of the grammarians, they believe verbs were first, then came the isms. There's some ikhtilaf in that, But anyways, in the Hansware, the verb will come first, like this. So this is hasaba. You can see the verb hasaba. Ha-sa-ba. So this transliteration, it tells you exactly how to pronounce it. How to pronounce the past tense. Okay, keep in mind, the transliteration tells you how to pronounce the past tense only, basically where to put the harakat, where to put the fathas. Because the person Hansware, he said that, I'm going to put so many things in there, it's going to be so concise, that if I put the harakat, it's going to be very difficult if in the printing, the haraka is erased. Then you can't really use the dictionary and you're confused. So instead, he put transliteration there, which is actually smart. That now you can confirm from the transliteration, is there a fatha there or a kasra there or the mother? So hasaba has fatha there. Then you have a u here. Everybody sees that u there? This u tells you how to pronounce the mudari', the imperfect tense. So it's going to be hasaba. The u means it's going to be a dhamma. It tells you about the state of the middle letter, the ain kalima. The ain kalima. So it's hasaba yahsubu. Hasaba yahsubu. Okay? Hasaba yahsubu. Why is it yahsubu? Because there's a u there. The u tells me that the imperfect tense will have a dhamma. Yahsubu. U. So basically that u is telling me it's going to be a u in the middle. In the ain kalima. You guys know what ain kalima means. Then after that, in the dictionary, they have parentheses. These words, right? These are called masdar, root nouns. Masdar, root nouns. Hasb. Okay, so you can see that after the S, there's no A. So you know that there's a sukun on the sin. Hasb. Okay, hasb. Now there's a comma, meaning we're done with one of the root nouns. The next root noun is hisab. So hasaba yahsubu, the root nouns are hisab, hasb, and also hisban. You can see the transliteration, and also you can read this husban, husban or hisban. Both of them are the root nouns there. Okay, so what is the meaning of hasaba yahsubu? It means to compute, reckon, calculate, to count, to charge, charge a debit card, something, charge somebody's account, to credit, But notice that this is not hasiba. I was talking about hasiba. This is not hasiba. Where is hasiba? This verb is hasaba yahsubu. If you go down, you keep on going down, you'll see, sometimes you'll see phrases that Arabs use, and you'll see the transliteration, just how to pronounce that. And then you'll see more things written there, more definitions, more ways of using this verb. Then after that, if you go here, you will see another transliteration here. Everybody sees that? And it says hasiba. Now, can somebody tell me what bab is this first one belong to? Hasaba yahsubu. Fataha yaftahu. No. What is it? Nasara yansuru. Nasara yansuru. Good, exactly. So this is bab nasara. I'll just put a noon. Nasara, the top one. It means to compute. It means to, we just read it. It means to charge a debit card or a credit card. To, basically charge somebody, count. This is the meaning of hasaba yahsubu. But if you go down, it says hasiba yahsabu. So if I'm pointing at it, let me erase all this, right? So if you see this bottom part here, hasiba, it shows how you're supposed to pronounce the past tense. Hasiba, right? So the past tense is supposed to have a fatha, kasra, fatha. Then after that, you see a little a there. You see an a there? That tells you that it is going to be in the imperfect tense, going to have a fatha. So it's hasiba yahsabu, basically. Right? Which bab would this be? Samiya yasma'u, right? So it'll be a scene here. Samiya yasma'u. But the author, he also wanted to, right? One bab can have, one translation can have more babs also. One translation can have more than one bab also. So he also gave you another bab, and he said I here. So I means that in the mudari, you're going to have a kasra. So hasiba yahsibu, right? And this is the hasiba yahsibu that we are talking about. I'll put it as a ha. Hasiba.
Does the meaning change if the bab is different?
Yeah, sometimes the meaning changes like this. This on the top, we have This top one, why can't I go on the top? Yeah, so on the top you can see on the top the meaning. This is bab nasara yansur. That's why we put a noon here. So we have 3 different babs for this verb. 2 of the babs have the same meaning, samiya yasma'u and hasiba yahsibu, and nasara yansuru has a different meaning. We just said compute for hasaba yahsubu, bab nasara. It means to compute, reckon, calculate. But this one has a different bab. The root noun is hisban, right? Muhassaba and muhassiba. It means to regard. Hasiba yahsibu. It means to regard, consider, deem. So means someone. So means someone. Sth means something. Okay, someone is so, and sth means something. These are the short forms of Hansware. So hasiba yahsibu means to regard, consider, deem, to think, believe. Hasiba nasu ayyutraku, right? Quran mentions this. Right? These verbs are mentioned in the Quran. Do the people think ayyaqulu amanna, that they will say that we believe in Allah and they will not be tested? Right? This is in the Quran. It also has suppose, assume, the meaning of assume, to consider, regard. In different contexts, it could have different meanings. That's why they put a lot of meanings there, just so whatever context is in front of you, it fits that context. Right? So it also means to count. Now, if you keep on going, right, if you keep on going, you see another verb. What is this? Hasuba. And then after that, you have a you. What does this mean? Yahsubu, yes. Which bab is this? But nasara is hasuba. Nasara is nasara. Fata. Yes. Yes. Karuma yakrumu. It would be karuma then. It would be karuma. Karuma yakrumu. So we're gonna put a kaf here for karuma. Okay, so we can see one verb. And this, what is the meaning of this? Hasab, right? This is the root noun, hasab, or hasaba. And what is the meaning of that? Right? It means to be of noble origin, to be high-born, to be highly esteemed, or right, be valued. Right? We also say in Urdu also hasab, nasab, hasab and nasab. Right? Hasab comes from here. Hasab means your lineage, your family, your ancestry, right? Your origin. So, this is a good example where this is not going to be the case for every verb. This is a special verb, hasiba, which has a lot actually. It has how many? 4 different babs that exist. Most are not going to have this. Most are going to stick to 1 or 2. And you can see it in the dictionary. So this is the Hansware entry. You can see it, inshallah. Any questions on this? Yeah. Yes. So that meaning has 2 babs. That meaning has 2 babs. And what's the meaning? It means to think, consider, deem something or someone. So that you could use it as hasiba yahsibu or hasiba yahsabu, right? Which is bab hasiba or bab samia. You could use it as both. So if you see it in both, in both of them, in either one of them, it'll have the same meaning, right? And that's why babs are so important. I'll tell you a story that you learn from speaking also. So I was speaking to a person at the store, and when I went for Umrah one of the times, so I was speaking to somebody and I was saying labisa means to wear. So I was saying that I was using a wrong bab, and I said that albas, can I wear this? Though, can I wear this? Albas? But and then he corrected me. He didn't correct me like very directly, but he just used it in the correct bab. He said it in the different bab. So then I was thinking that, wait, he used it in a different bab. Then I went then actually I just thought about it, that Allah mentions labisa, but he uses labisa yalbisu, and it has a different meaning. Labasa yalbisu, it means to mix, where Allah says, وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ, don't mix truth with falsehood. وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا, right? Talbisu means to mix. Don't mix truth with falsehood. And the other bab, it means to wear clothes. Can I wear this clothes? So I was using the wrong bab, and then he was saying it right. So I was like, subhanallah, the people who speak, they still keep that into consideration. The babs are important, or else it changes the meaning. I changed the meaning from wearing to mixing. So so that's why it's very important to learn the babs. There's a few questions. Let me take those questions. For hasiba, how do we know we should select bab hasiba or bab samia? Yeah, how should we know? You could use, because it has the same meaning, you could use either one. If you want to say this meaning of consider and believe, you could use either one. But Allah uses hasiba yahsabu. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ اللَّهَ غَافِلًا وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ. So fatha. So he uses samia. So you could use whatever. Whichever you use, it will be correct. Right. So that's the rule there. Now we're going to now inshallah pause here. I'm going to pause the recording and then listen to the gardan. Yeah, so let's practice. So the mudari. Let's do the verb yakhda'u. Khada'a yakhda'u. So repeat after me. Yakhda'u, yakhda'ani, yakhda'una. Takhda'u, takhda'ani, yakhda'na. Takhda'u, takhda'ani, takhda'una, takhda'ina. تخدعاني تخضعنا أخضع نخضع. Okay, so with practice also you should know what does تخضع mean. You تخضع. You one male cheat or she cheats. She cheats. These two. How do you say she cheats? She. تخدع. Right. How do you say you one female cheats? تخدعين. تخدعين. Let's do the verb fahima yafhamu. Right. In that, in imperfect tense, how do you say they many females cheat? Fahima. No, fahima. In fahima. Yeah, fahima. Yafhamna. Yes. Yafhamna. Yes. How do you say you understand? You understand. Tafham. How do you say that I understand? Huh? Afham. Yeah, you is tafham. Yeah. No, that's two. You two. Right. Yeah, you one is tafham. Good. So how do you say in fahima, yafhamu, to understand? How do you say that you many females understand? Huh? Yes, tafhamna. Tafhamna. How do you say you many males understand? Tafhamuna. Right? Una. Tafhamuna. Yes, that's right. Good. So the let's do nazara. Nazara yanzuru means to look at. So how do you say that you two males look at? You two males. Tanzurani. You two males. How do you say you two females? Same. Yeah, tanzurani. Same. How do you say they two females. Look, they two females. Is this same? Tanzurani, same. Yeah. How do you say they many male? They two males. See, look, these two males, huh? Yanzurani. Yes, Yanzurani. That's right. Good. So, alhamdulillah, the students are getting it, huh? Alhamdulillah. Okay, let's go on further, inshallah, to today's part that we have here. Yeah, if you have questions, go ahead.
The karuma yakrumu like that.
Yeah.
So with the zamma in the mazi.
Yeah.
Zamma in the muzari. There is no, if zamma in the mazi.
Yeah.
Muzari is going to be zamma only.
Yeah.
It cannot be fatah kasma. That's why 6 bars. Right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, the question was that regarding karuma, the madi, the past tense has a dhamma in the middle. So the mudar is also going to have a dhamma. Yes. Mudar is also going to have a dhamma. And that's why this is a separate bab, different bab. Right? It's a different bab than nasara. Nasara looks the same.
Yeah.
The only thing is the past tense has a dhamma in karuma. That's why it's a different bab. Or else it would be with nasara. That's why it's different. Yeah.
There becomes combination of 9. If you combine all the harakats,
Yeah.
it becomes a combination of 9. Fatah with fatah zamma kasra, then zamma with fatah zamma kasra, and then zamma with fatah zamma kasra becomes 9. But there are only 6 bars
Yeah.
because the 3 of them are that do not even exist.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. The 3 of them don't exist. That's right. Meaning that, you know, with the dhamma, if you have in the past tense dhamma, if you have a dhamma in the past tense like karuma, you're only going to have a dhamma in the mudari. You can't have a fatha. That, what do you call it? That combination is not there. It doesn't exist. So if you have karuma, fatha, dhamma, fatha, the next combination has to be dhamma in the middle letter, in the imperfect. So you lost that fatha combination, also the kasra combination, in that you lost that. It doesn't exist. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. You're supposed to have 9 combinations, but actually you only have 6 because the 2 of them, the 3 of them, they don't exist. Only the ones that we mentioned exist. So let's yeah.
No kasra at the end.
There's no kasra
At the end,
in the middle.
in the lam.
Yeah, when you have karuma, bab karuma.
Karuma, there's a fatha at the end.
Yeah.
Dhamma at the end, but we don't have any kasra at the end.
Yeah.
I think that will be actually more clear.
Okay.
I just categorize them.
Okay, you categorize them. Okay, nice. That's good.
My own sum, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay, inshallah. Yeah, we'll look at that, inshallah.
I can share the pictures.
Inshallah, yeah. So inshallah, today we're going to go into new topic here. Because I was looking at making the quizzes. Those who have not done the quizzes, they can do it, inshallah. But there was some simple concepts that if the students learn those concepts, it'll become easy to even translate the Quran, bring the Quran. Yeah, you had a question? For fil mudari practice, today was a little bit of practice. We're done with that. But we're going to still continue on adding to fil mudari a little bit more. Yeah. So last week, if you remember, we had those changes from the huruful jazima and nasiba. Inshallah, soon I'll ask you about, the anlan kay idhan, right? What, memorizing that and also the translation for that. Inshallah, so I'm giving you a little bit of more time to learn that, inshallah. So these are called pronouns, dama'ir, right? So this is actually not really part of sarf, but it's kind of connected to sarf because it has its own chart. I'm mentioning it here. Dama'ir are pronouns. Okay, these are the pronouns that are they're not attached, they're on their own. And inshallah, perhaps next week I'll mention and explain the pronouns which are attached and connected. These are pronouns which are different, they are separate, they're on their own. So they also have their gardan that you should also memorize. Okay, what are they? Huwa, huma, hum. Say it after me. Huwa. Again, huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu. Yeah. So this ana, we're not going to say ana. We're going to say ana. We're going to say quick, fast. And this is the same ana, which is mentioned in Quran. So it's written with the alif, but you don't pronounce the alif. So that's the tricky part. So you're going to always say, you're always going to say ana, ana. Right? You're not going to say ana. That would be wrong. Ana, which means I. Now, these are pronouns, which means that, huwa means he. He. This is the pronoun for he, third person, masculine. Then huma is they, two males, they. The translation would be they in English. Hum is they, many males. Hum is many males, they. And we know what many means, three or more. Hiya means she. Hiya means she. And also keep in mind that, these pronouns, hiya and huwa, and any of them, they can be used for objects also. In that case, the translation will be it. Because as we know, objects are also masculine or feminine in Arabic. You probably have done that a little bit in Sheikh Ahsan's class. Objects, you have to know if an object is masculine or feminine, if you're going to refer to it. And when you refer to it, also you can use a pronoun which is appropriate to it in accordance with the gender. So hiya means she or it. Huma means they, both females, they, two females. Hunna is they, many females. Hunna. Now you will see these pronouns in the Quran also. Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahun. Right? Hunna libasul. They, meaning your wives, are your libas, are your garments in the Quran. Right? So these are all mentioned in the Quran. Anta. Anta means you, one male. So if you want to make a sentence out of this, you would say, Anta Muslimun, you are a Muslim. Mubtada khabar. Mubtada khabar. Right? Anta Muslimun, you are a Muslim. Antuma is you two, you both males. Antuma is you both males, you two males. Antum is you many males. Then anti, just a kasra there, it means you one female. Antuma, which looks the same as the masculine version, means you both females. And antunna means you many females. Ana means I, nahnu means we. Okay, so if somebody wants to say ana Muslimun. If somebody says ana Muslimun, it means I am a Muslim. Ana tabibun. Tabib means doctor. Ana tabibun. I am a doctor. Right? So these are the damar. These are you have to memorize them and make it fluent also. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. Okay, so inshallah, this is also part of your homework. Inshallah, we're going to go on further. The changes we had mentioned last week, that's also important, although we didn't really practice that today. But I want the students to, inshallah, take some time and practice that. That's very important also. And I will hopefully try to listen to that as well. Right. So basically, what I'm going to expect is that you have to say the lan gardan. For example, just the easy one, fa'ala. If we use fa'ala, we will use لن يفعل. لن يفعل, لن يفعلا, لن يفعلوا. The noon gets dropped off, right? So you also have to memorize this and say this too, so that it becomes very easy for you. لن يفعل, لن يفعلا, لن يفعلوا. Let's say that, if everybody can say it. لن يفعل, لن يفعلا, لن يفعلوا, لن يفعل, لن يفعلي. Or sorry, no. لن تفعل, لن تفعل, لن يفعلن. لن تفعل, لن تفعلا, لن تفعلوا, لن تفعلي, لن تفعلا, لن تفعلن, لن أفعل, لن نفعل. Right, so this is the assignment also, which was assigned this last week, this week. So if you do that homework, inshallah, you'll get the hang of it. Basically, you're putting a fatha there. It's from the hurufin nasiba. Jazima is also very similar. Noons get dropped off. The only difference in jazima is you put a jazm on the ones that have the dhamma. Yeah.
So nasab and jazm, are they like the emphatic?
No. Nasab and jazm are not the emphatic ones. Yeah. So lam is what you see on the screen here. Lam is another example. Now, if I don't, I'm putting lam and lan as a example, so you can learn that one example and not get confused with the other ones. But you should also know other ones also. For example, if I put an, if I put the word an before fa'ala, ay yaf'ala. So you should be able to do the same gardan as you did for lan for an. أن يفعل, أن يفعلا, أن يفعلوا, أن تفعل, أن تفعلا, أن يفعلن, أن تفعل, أن تفعلا, أن تفعلوا, أن تفعلي, أن تفعلا, أن تفعلن, أن أفعل, أن نفعل. Right? So you should also be able to do that. So that was for an, lan, kay, idhan, which are the nasiba, huruf nasiba or nasb. Now we also did jazima previously, which have a jazm on them. Right? So you guys can say this also with me. Lam yaf'al, lam yaf'ala, lam yaf'alu, lam taf'al, lam taf'ala, lam yaf'alna, lam taf'al, lam taf'ala, lam taf'alu, lam taf'ali, lam taf'ala, lam taf'alna, lam af'ala, lam af'al, lam naf'al. Yeah, so notice the sukun there. Sukun has to be there because it's from the huruful jazima. Yeah, there's a chart on this. Also on the assignment, or I think it's not the assignment only. Yes, I think on the assignment also I wrote it down, the lam and lan also. So if anybody wants to see a chart of it, nice in a table, 3 by 3, 3 by, what is it? 3 by 5. Then you can see the assignment document, and I put the lan example and the lam also, so you can see it and also see the translation there as well. So that's in a better way to look at it in a 3 form, in 3 columns instead of a line like this. 3 columns will categorize or section out that this is masculine, then we're going to feminine now, so that inshallah that will be easier for you. So do practice that. Another one that we had done just a little bit of variation was the amr, the command, which is in the middle. Inshallah, practice that as well. Today we're going to just add a little bit on it. It's not going to be so many gardans charts as we did last week. Last week was a very important dars that had a lot, right? You had the passive, and also you had the the active, and also the little bit of changes in the amr that were there, nasiba, jazima, dropping off the noons. So that was a very important dars that had a lot of material there. Today, inshallah, it's not going to be so much. Just another addition we're going to add on this, which is the emphatic, which is ta'kid. Just just to make sure that the brothers they're also motivated to do this, because just looking at this, it gets a little bit overwhelming. And this is the time, if we don't get support, then students start dropping. And I already kind of see that. But let me know if you need a little bit more practice, or we should practice in the class. And I'm saying this also to the students who don't come to the class, and they listen to the recordings and they're catching up. And mashallah, I see some of the students, they are doing the quizzes, who are actually not attending the class in person. So for them also, it's just a few more things to learn. Already from my quizzes, you can see that all of you can translate the Quran already. Just knowing just portions of the Quran, and just portions of the verbs. I'm just going to the Quran and trying to bring that in front of you, so that you can see what you're learning. You're learning something which will really make you translate the Quran, and already students are doing that. Now, to learn a little bit more and learn Arabic at the full level is very important, because as you can see, you can translate wrong if you don't learn some of these gardans correctly and properly. You don't notice some things. So whatever you learn has to be strong, right? A student who doesn't learn it very strong and just quickly, tries to learn it and then forgets it, is not very ideal for them to go on before strengthening the previous concepts. So you have to strengthen the previous concepts. It's only a little bit of practice that will allow you and open up so many different doors. And I hope you can see that from the quizzes. And I'm actually amazed too. I'm amazed. The verbs, I just go and check up in the app, and I see how many verbs are mentioned with lan and lam. How many verbs are mentioned, the verbs that I give you. There's so many in the Quran. So, to learn a language, you have to make the sarf of it, the morphology of it, very strong. And if you make it strong, then inshallah, very easily you can translate. And I'll tell you, what part of sarf you won't have to really memorize. That, very rarely comes. There is a part of sarf where it's very rarely comes in poetry, very less, doesn't come so often. So I'll tell you that, so that you won't have to worry about that. But all this, what we've done so far, is basics. You have to memorize it. There's no way out of that, even if it's slow. Like some brothers are saying it's slow, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Just keep on practicing it, it'll get faster. For me, it was slow also. Inshallah, with that, let's go on to ta'kid, which is the emphatic way. This is also mentioned in Quran many places. The emphatic describes with emphasis future actions or events. For example, right, he gives you right away. This is the way that it looks like. La yaf'alanna. This is in Arabic called lam ta'kid ba noon ta'kid. So it means lam emphasis with noon emphasis. So there's two emphasis going on here. This is the general strong emphasis. How do I know this is emphatic? Because I see a lam here, which I don't recognize. And also I see a noon with a shadda. Okay. I see a lam with a shadda, noon with a shadda. When I see both of them, it should tell me that, okay, this is the emphasis. It's the emphatic gardan, the emphatic tense. It translates to la yaf'alanna. He put over here, verily he will do. You can translate that. You can translate this as he will definitely do. Definitely or certainly. You can use the words. You can write this down. I'll write it actually here. Because actually, I actually don't like verily he will do, because verily is coming in the beginning. And if people don't really say verily so much. So certainly he, one male, will certainly do. So I'll put over here. or you could say definitely. Yeah, in Urdu you would say yeah, yaqinan, maybe you could say yeah, zurur. Yeah. So certainly, and also you can put definitely. Yeah.
Learning grammar and then we are doing it in English. So if we know the vocabulary or then similarly we can do the translation and then
Yeah.
it's exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just translate like that. Yeah. So verily he will do, or instead of that, you could say he will certainly do, or he will definitely do. Okay. So that's la yaf'alanna. La yaf'alanna. There's a question, which is a good question. So both lam and noon have to be present to show emphatic. So lam and noon have to be present if it's the general emphatic. If it's the general emphatic. And why I'm answering it like that, because you'll see at the end of today's lesson that there can be emphasis in amar also, and nahi. There can be emphasis. In that case, the lam is that this type of lam is not there. This type of lam is not there. Right? And we'll see that. So in the general emphasis, if there is no harf nasab or harf jazm there, the general emphasis is with this, with the lam and the noon. Yes, the general emphasis.
If it is not nasiba or jazima,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, if it's not nasiba or jazima, then the lam and noon have to be there. Both have to be there. If it's not jazima and nasiba, and we're gonna see the example of jazima is gonna come with emphasis, with the emphasis also.
It can be confusing with the past tense of many women.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, that's true. It could be a little bit confusing sometimes with the feminine version, right? Yeah, but we'll see. It's a little bit different because it has so many letters also. Right, so after that, let's do the first principle. He says that the emphatic is formed. Now he's explaining how it's formed. Right, and basically, if you even skip this and just go on the table, you'll understand this. But let's just read how he mentions how it's formed. Adding the particle lam to the beginning of the active and passive voice conjugations of the present tense verb. Okay, so adding the lam, first thing you have to notice is the lam there. La yaf'alanna, the lam. And also do not say la yaf'alanna. Remember, I said it for the la, that if you don't say la and you say la, it becomes emphasis. This is what I was talking about. So you cannot say la yaf'alanna for this one, because this is la yaf'alanna. 1 second only. The lam should be only 1 second. If you make it 2 seconds long, it changes the meaning to absolutely opposite. That you are not doing this, and actually it would be emphasis for not doing. You certainly, definitely will not do,
I made that mistake once.
Made that mistake.
So
Yeah.
I read it as wala li abai.
Oh,
Somebody said me that cannot say that.
yeah.
You have to say, emphasize la.
Yeah, make it.
Completely changes.
Yeah, exactly. It changes it because the word la itself means no. So that's why. Yeah, good. So the second thing to notice is that adding a noon to the end. Right? You can see the noon with the shadda, with either a fatha or a kasra. Right? We'll see where it is used with the fatha, where it is used with the kasra soon in the chart. The particle lam is called the lam of emphasis, lam ta'kid. Lam al-ta'kid. And it causes the verb originally in the state of rafa. Rafa, remember we talked about rafa, it means in the state of the normal state, the dammatain. It causes the verb originally it's in the state of rafa. Right? There's no huruf nasiba, there's no nasab or jar happening before it. There's no particles of nasab and jar before this verb. So it's in the state of rafa to become stateless, mabni. So it makes it stateless. What does that mean? It means that now once you say this word la yaf'alanna, you cannot change it, because with the lam of emphasis, you cannot put something which is jazm, the particles of jazm or nasab cannot change this word. In other words, because if you change this word, that word is gonna cease to exist. It's not gonna be there, right? It also alters the meaning of the verb from the present tense to the future tense with emphasis. So basically, it locks in the future tense and it gives emphasis to that. Thus, yaf'alu, he does, becomes la yaf'alanna. Yaf'alu, he does, it becomes la yaf'alanna, that verily he will do, or he will certainly or definitely do. He will definitely do. Okay. Essential note, the conjugations of emphasis must be memorized before moving on to the next lesson. Yeah, we already know that. So you don't have to really worry about this. We'll just mention this part. Over here, he wants you to see that yaf'aluna, the word yaf'aluna, the change that happened was that the waw got dropped off and the dhamma stayed, so it became yaf'alna. Sorry, it became la yaf'alunna. So the dhamma shows that this is plural. The dhamma shows. If you put a fatha there, it will be for singular. He, when male, singular, right? So will certainly do if it's a fatha. But dhamma shows that it is a plural, and we'll see that in the chart. In the chart here. Let's look at the girdan here. We're going to look at the right side, the active voice. Everybody can say it after me. La yaf'alanna. La yaf'alanni. Okay, so now immediately you see that noon coming in, but this is not just, it's the noon of emphasis, but also you don't see that extra noon that was not the noon that is originally there. Yaf'al, yaf'alu, yaf'alani. Right? Yaf'alani. So now it's merged together. Yaf'alani, it is. Yeah. Yeah, so it's with a kasra. Now, one thing I wanted to also mention, because everybody is new to Arabic, is this shadda here. In modern Arabic, they put the shadda on they show kasra by putting the shadda on the bottom. Right? If you want, and actually this is what I tell the students to do, is that to make it apparent for you, so you're learning this. To make it apparent, you should put the kasra underneath the noon, even if you have a shadda. But modern Arabic, what they do is they will put it underneath the shadda. That's also fine. Either way is fine. You should be accustomed to either way. But for students, just so they keep in mind and they're looking and they're memorizing it correctly, I told them to put it on the bottom, especially so that you can learn it properly and you don't make a mistake, inshallah. Okay, so you can notice here, there's a shadda here with a fatha on top, which means the noon has a fatha. But if the shadda has a kasra on the bottom of the shadda, right, immediately under the shadda, that means that the noon has a kasra. Okay, so that's something that you should, inshallah, know. Okay, so let's say this. Yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'alu. Sorry. I was reading the wrong one, right? La yaf'alanna. This is the emphasis one. La yaf'alanna. La yaf'alani. La yaf'alunna. La taf'alanna. La taf'alani. لا يفعلنان. So this is a little bit different. The the feminine version is the plural feminine. It's لا يفعلنان. Okay, so you have to start the noon, then connect with the shadda. لا يفعلنان. Okay. I don't know if this specific one, I don't think so. The nanny one, but these are in the Quran. I think Surah Qalam has one. ولا يدخلن لا يدخلن is there. ولا يعلمن الله الذين آمنوا ولا يعلمن الكاذبين. ولا يعلمن. Allah will most definitely know on the day of judgment who are the liars and who are the truthful.
These I've seen many places.
Yeah. This one, the plural female. Yeah, لا يفعلنان, I believe it's not there. Yeah, but we could check. Yeah, it's not coming to mind. It's not coming to mind. Yeah. For the feminine, no. So where if you go back here, so this is the masculine, 3 of them. Then after that we start off the feminine here. This is the feminine plural. Feminine plural. Okay. So let's go from the actually let's go from the feminine here. We're going from feminine singular. لتفعلن لتفعلان ليفعلنان لتفعلن لتفعلان لتفعلن لتفعلن. Notice feminine singular, just a kasra, because there was a ya there, it dropped off. Just a kasra should tell you that is feminine singular. You, one female. لتفعلن لتفعلان لتفعلنان لأفعلن لنفعلن. Okay, so this is translation is you are لا يفعلن, he will certainly do. He will certainly do. You can see the emphasis by certainly, or you could mention definitely, whatever you want. Certainly or verily, right? Certainly, whatever you would want to use, you could use that. All right, he will certainly do. The next is the passive. Passive, very easy. Same gardan, only difference is the ya gets a dhamma and the ain kalima, which is the ain, gets a fatha. Okay, in this case, it's very easy because the ain already had a fatha. But let's say if you wanted to use the word daraba, la yadribanna, right? So the active would be la yadri. Notice the kasra on the ra. Why? Because daraba has in the imperfect tense has a kasra. So la yadribanna. In the passive, it would be la yudrabanna. Okay, la yudrabanna for the word daraba. Okay, why? Because the passive rule is dhamma on the ya, which is the alamatul mudari, and fatha on the ain. Those 2 rules are across the border for mudari, passive. So let's say this: la yuf'alanna, la yuf'alani, la yuf'alunna, la tuf'alanna, la tuf'alani, la yuf'alnani, la tuf'alanna, la tuf'alani, la tuf'alunna, la tuf'alinna, la tuf'alani, la tuf'alnani, la uf'alanna, la nuf'alanna. Yeah, so translation for this would be, again, passive, same thing, but passive emphasis with passive. So, as I mentioned, for fa'ala, you can't really express that so well. But over here, he says he will definitely be done. If you use the word daraba, it would be la yudrabanna. Translation of that would be he will be hit. He will be certainly hit. He will be certainly hit. So he's receiving the action. He will certainly be hit. He will certainly be hit. So you're going to put be in the translation. This is for the passive. Inshallah. Everybody understands that? Now, we did that emphasis. Now, for the, we already did amr, but there is amr with emphasis. Okay, so now this is, just putting emphasis on the amr. And this,
Case of jazima.
yeah, the amr makes it jazima, but however, remember we said that it'll become stateless. So now the amr cannot affect the noon. It can't make any changes. The changes at the end are going to be the same. And the reason why I always also wanted to teach this in the same class, in the same lesson, is because for the students to notice that the amr has il kasra, right? We mentioned this before, that the amr has a kasra, the lam has a kasra. Above in the emphasis, we had a la yaf'alanna. Lam had a fatha, la yaf'alanna. But over here, there's a kasra. So the kasra should tell you that that is amr. Now the noon with the shadda tells you that it is emphasis. Okay, so it's amr and emphasis both together. Let's say this together. Inshallah.
So the meaning will this
Yeah.
one is he must do, like,
Yeah, so the meaning would be now for amr, the meaning was should, right? He should do. La yaf'al, la yaf'al, la yaf'ala, la yaf'alu. That was the gardan for the scale for amr. Not la, li. Li yaf'al, li yaf'ala, li yaf'alu. Or lam with the kasra. Okay. So now the translation for that was that you should do. You should do. Or sorry, not you. They should do. Right? He should do. He should do. In the third person, which is liyaf'al. Right? Liyaf'al. Now, if you are going to add a noon there, the noon of emphasis, it will translate to he should definitely do. Okay, he should definitely do. Okay, so one is the amr portion of it, which is the should, and then definitely is the emphasis. He should definitely do, or certainly do, because emphasis, you could use that also. So let's say it after me. Let's go over this. We're going on the active voice emphatic, the right one, the right side. So first it says la yaf'alan. Sorry, I'm saying la. That's wrong, right? It's not la. That is emphasis, full emphasis. Li yaf'alanna. ليفعلان ليفعلن لتفعلن لتفعلان ليفعلنان. Now in the amr, we had if'al, if'ala, if'alu. Previously we had done that last class. Now the emphasis with that is going to be just adding that noon there. If'alanna, if'alani, if'alunna, if'alinna, if'alani, if'alnani, li'af'alanna, linaf'alanna. Okay, so translation is he or she, whatever it is, should certainly do. Now we also have the majhul version of it also. And in the majhul version, the first part gets a dhamma, for second part, the ayn kalima gets a fatha. So let's say this, li, and the translation is going to be that he, let's use daraba, right? If you say liyudrabanna, liyudrabanna, it would be he will, or he should certainly be hit. He should certainly be hit. Okay, this is the passive version. He should certainly, I'm using the word should for amr, certainly for emphasis, be hit for majhul. So three things going on there. Okay, liyuf'alanna, liyuf'alani, liyuf'alunna, lituf'alanna, lituf'alani, liyuf'alnani. Now, previously in the amr, we had if'al, if'alanna, if'alani, if'alunna, right? But over here, we don't do that. In the majhul, we don't have the amr, we don't make the amr if'al. In the majhul, we don't say the amr if'al because the person is not in front of you. Right? If'al, if'ala, if'alu, that is only for somebody who's in front of you in the hadir sigha. But in majhul, we don't have that. We bring back the lam. لِيُفْعَلَنَّ لِتُفْعَلَنَّ لِتُفْعَلَانِ لِتُفْعَلُنَّ لِتُفْعَلِنَّ لِتُفْعَلَانِ لِتُفْعَلْنَانِ لِأُفْعَلَنَّ لِنُفْعَلَنَّ. Yes, good.
So here we drop the lam or this really you should do, you do.
Yes, yeah. We dropped the lam. In the regular amr sigha, we have also dropped the lam. Yeah, we just make it, if you go here, you can see over here, right here. If'al. All right, so you can see this is the amr active voice. Amr is liyaf'al, liyaf'ala, liyaf'alu, litaf'al, litaf'ala, liyaf'alna. Then we have if'al, if'ala, if'alu, if'ali, if'ala, if'alna. So these 6 are different, are going to be with the alif in the beginning. And then after that, we go back to the lam. Li'af'al, linaf'al. And so this is for the amr. Yeah. So we'll stop at that, inshallah. And then, inshallah, let's go on to talking a little bit about, let's start Zad al-Talibin, inshallah. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. We had done the previous hadith, and in each of these hadith, after we do it, I send like a discussion. This is just for the students to kind of discuss the hadith, during the week, try to remind ourselves of what we've done, and just remind ourselves basically of what we have done, and then take some benefit from it. And it's for benefit for everybody. Everybody has something different that they can bring in, an application that maybe somebody else did not think of, can bring it. So, I want the students to, inshallah, engage and talk in that as well. Others can see other people's answers also. Today, inshallah, we're going to do this hadith number 4 in the provisions for the seekers. The hadith is al-anatu min Allahi wal-ajalatu min ash-shaytani. Al-anatu min Allahi. Al-anat means calmness, tranquility, peace, doing things slowly. That's what al-anat means. Anat. Min Allah, min means from Allah, right? From Allah, yes. Calmness, peace, tranquility, doing things slowly, composure. Right, that's a good word also in English. Composure, doing things not so quickly, not spontaneous, but slowly and with measure, and slowly doing things. That is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wal-ajalatu min ash-shaytan. Ajala means haste. Haste and doing things quickly is from shaitan. Doing things quickly is from shaitan. What does this mean? He mentions that this hadith refers to everyday activities and not to acts of worship. A person is encouraged to conduct his daily activities with calmness and patience, as acting in haste often leads to spoiling one's actions. However, when it comes to worship, a person is encouraged to hasten towards doing good. Okay, hasten towards doing good. Right, in the other hadith, I think he mentions the hadith here. Is he? No. So there's other hadith which say that you have to hasten towards good. Badiru bil a'mal, right? That you should hasten towards doing good. Embark upon good actions with determination and eagerness, and then complete them with calmness. Okay, now when you're supposed to start an action quickly, right? And after you start the action, then the action itself you do slowly, calmly, with concentration, calmness, and devotion. Right. For example, it is disliked for one to run to join the prayer, but it is commendable to perform the wudu ablution at home and set out for the prayer early. So basically what he's trying to say is that to do things quickly, right? It's better to do wudu at home. Why? Because you don't want to rush while you're doing it. You should do it in a good fashion, and also to run towards prayer, right? That is also mentioned, that to join the prayer, that's also disliked, right? So there are times that you would use this, that calmness is something which is good, composure is something good, and it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another example that I give, this is what the book is saying, but the example what I would give is, for example, eating, right? Other things, right? You shouldn't do it so quick. Doing an assignment, don't hasten in doing it where you make a lot of mistakes, right? Or eating food, don't eat food so quickly that you choke on it, or you don't chew properly, right? Anything that is your daily activities, make sure you do them with composure. But regarding actions, whenever you hear of an opportunity, you should immediately do it. Why should you immediately do it? The scholars mention that when a person intends to do good, they should hasten towards that good, because shaitan will stop you, right? Maybe shaitan will make you forget. Yeah, you went to the masjid and you said that, today's Jummah, I want to give a little bit of sadaqah. I have a $20 bill with me. All right, I want to give some sadaqah. And then, you enter the masjid and the talk is going on, and quickly you just go and sit down, and you don't give it at that moment. Shaitan makes you forget. And then you just leave the masjid after your Jummah salat, and you forget to give that donation to the masjid. So whenever you think of a good deed, immediately do it, or immediately make plans to do it, or else shaitan will make you forget. And that's what shaitan does. So in good actions, you should hasten towards it before you forget, or you don't have life. How long are we going to live, right? So that's why you should, the Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith, right, that even if it is giving a date, tasaddaqu, right, give sadaqah, even if it's walau bitamarin, right, ittaqun nara walau bitamaratin, that fear the fire, fear the hellfire, even if it may be giving, even if it may be a date, giving a date in sadaqah, quickly fear that. What does that mean? That means that fear the hellfire, that the hellfire is there, and I want to immediately give my charity, and I don't want to delay that. Maybe when I have more money, I'll give. Maybe if I have right now I'm not doing so well, right? This Jummah, actually, I had spoken about Salahuddin Ayyubi, one of the great leaders who had conquered Masjid al-Aqsa. One of the qualities that they mentioned regarding him was that he was such a person that he would give in charity, he would give to the people from the treasury, even if the treasury did not have a lot of money. The amount he would give when the treasury had less money was the same as when he would give when the treasury had a lot of money. Nowadays, people, what they do, and countries also, and people in general also, that when they see their bank balance coming less, they lessen their expenditure, their sadaqat. But they know Allah is going to give them. but still the fear comes. Shaitan comes and brings that fear that, oh no, I have less money. How am I going to, survive? But you know that you're working, you're going to get your paycheck. So Salahuddin Ayyubi was such that he would give the same amount when the country's treasury had less money, and also when it had more money also. So that was something that was known, and that shows the tawakkul in Allah that the leader had, right? And I was using this and mentioning that if we bring these qualities also, inshallah, we'll get the Masjid al-Aqsa will be, inshallah, in the hands of the Muslimin. So with that, that shows how we should hasten towards doing good. But once we're in the good, once you're in the salat, you want to do it with composure and calmness, and make sure that you fulfill and do all the actions properly and with concentration and devotion, inshallah. So we'll stop at that. There's a few questions here. Should we memorize the hadith that we cover in Zad al-Talibin? That would be very good if you memorize it. And that's why we also bring this book as the first hadith book that you do, because it's very easy, one-liner. Other hadith books, they're complex. So it would be very good. After Quran, the most virtuous statement to memorize is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Next question is, will the ruling according to this hadith, what is the will be the ruling? For example, when we are running to work and we hasten in getting ready. So yeah, so so you should from beforehand give more time, right? Of course, like if you're running late, you're going to be hastening, but you'll see that if you're hastening, then you are messing things up a little bit. So giving more time. But if somebody's in that situation, to quickly kind of with composure, try to have a little bit of composure. Driving also, don't drive too fast and like cut people and drive dangerously. Try to at least bring a little bit of composure in that. Although you need to be at a certain place at a certain time, try to have a little bit of composure, even coming in the office or coming to the masjid, right? Some people, when they're late, they're like running, right? Have composure, just like walk, right? So so basically what it means is that you're going to have harm. You're going to have some type of harm if you hasten in those things. You're going to, miss something, miss an exit if you're driving, or when you're getting ready, maybe you might forget something, because you were so worried about going and getting ready and going. So the purpose is you're going to harm yourself in some manner. So calm yourself down and make it easy for yourself, and go with composure. Conduct yourself with composure. What is the root word for alana? Al-ana, yeah, al-anatu, right? So the root letter, I believe it's anawa. Yeah, ana. Yes, it's alif, noon, and ya. I'm actually looking at it. In the dictionary, it says deliberateness, perseverance, patience, balanced judgment. So this is how it's used. Composure, balanced judgment, right? So alif, noon, and ya. The ya was changed into a ta. Al-anatu min Allahi wal ajalatu. Ajala, ain, jim, and lam. These are the root letters. Ajala. Right? Ajala means to hasten. Yeah. And then ajal. Ajal means time. Yes. Ajal means also means time. Yes. No. Yeah. So ajal. Okay. Yeah. Don't get confused with this. Ajal is with the alif. The word ajal. There's another word in Arabic which is ajal. I'll put it on the screen. Alif, jim, and lam. But this is ain. Ain, jim, and lam. Ajal. Al-ajalatu. Ajalatu. So the ain changes the meaning. Ajal means time. Inna ajal Allahi la'at. Right? Appointed time. Ajal means appointed time. But ajal means haste, to quickly do something.
Alif with the Hamza, it means time.
Yes. And then the ayn, ajal, what we have in the hadith, it means to hasten. So it's a different letter. Just by changing the letter, it could change the meaning. Then we should also do tarawih prayer slowly. Yes. Yeah. So so it should be not too fast. That's also there. It shouldn't be too fast where the huruf are getting mixed up and it's not with proper tajweed. Yeah, so the tarawih should be a little bit slower. It shouldn't be too fast where it's not pronounced correctly. But if it's pronounced correctly, just to make it a little bit fast, as long as you're saying all the huruf, all the tajweed and the makharij correctly, then you should do a little bit fast, because of the reason that people would leave it if you make it too long, 2-hour tarawih. People will not pray because they have work the next day. That's the reason that they make it fast. But some places that it's in the winter. When you have in the winter, some of the hufaz, they go slow, so it gets longer. And some places, depending on the place also, some places of people are okay with it, and people are accustomed to it, but other places it's not so. You have to see the urf of the people, their mizaj as well, inshallah. Okay, inshallah.
There is one question. Is Urdu word